Many people create their own obstacles in life, but with a little specialized help, they can get over them as well. Steve G. Jones takes an unusual approach to providing that specialized help. He is a well-regarded clinical hypnotherapist with a very impressive client list. He joins us now to talk about his work here on Sky Radio. Steve, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, and it's wonderful to be here.
Delighted to have you on board here. What kinds of problems can be effectively addressed with your approach? What are the advantages of clinical hypnotherapy?
Well, I have found that a lot of situations which cannot be handled by talk therapy or what we would consider traditional therapy can be easily handled with hypnotherapy. And those would be things such as weight loss or stopping smoking or overcoming fears or gaining motivation. Sometimes people find that the therapy they're getting doesn't quite go as deeply or isn't happening as quickly as they'd like. And in those situations, hypnotherapy can be highly effective.
Now, you've come up with something that, to me, is entirely new. You've created a technique that actually works over the Internet. Tell me about that and about the advantages that represents.
Well, when I started out over 20 years ago, I was making cassette tapes for people of their sessions. I'd have them come in the office, and I'd give them a cassette tape of the recording they could listen to at home. Then later on, CDs were given to clients. But then MP3s came out. MP3s are a wonderful technology. So what I've found is that I can have people go to my website, order what they want, and immediately get what they want, and it's downloadable to their computer, and they can also play it on their MP3 player. So what happens is people look through the Internet trying to find the help they need. They find it, and rather than scheduling an appointment for a week or a month later with me, they can download the help they need right away in the form of an MP3.
Now, let's step back a step here. Give us a rundown of your background as a hypnotherapist, and also, where possible, tell us a little about some of your clients.
Okay. Well, I've been practicing hypnotherapy since the 80s, and I initially was working with people when I first started college. My undergraduate work was in psychology at the University of Florida, and when I first started college, I was working with people who were athletes. They wanted to run faster, and the smart kids wanted to study more effectively. Over the 20 years that I've been in practice, I've had the honor of working with more advanced clientele, a client from NASA and some professional baseball players. So essentially the same clientele. The smart kids are still the smart kids, except now they're much smarter, and the athletes are still the athletes, except now they're professionals, but the clientele has pretty much remained the same. Educationally, I then received a master's degree in education, and now to bring some prestige and recognition to the field, I'm also working on a doctorate in education, which has allowed me to incorporate what I already know to be true about hypnotherapy into an academic setting so that I can actually use, for example, my downloadable recording on test taking to help people study better, and I can demonstrate to the scientific community that hypnotherapy is working. Initially, I started out in Florida, and then I moved to Los Angeles. I was fortunate enough there to have an office in Beverly Hills, so I worked with such people as Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman the movie, and got him to stop smoking. I worked with Geraldine Saunders, the writer of The Love Boat, and helped her overcome some obstacles she was working on. And different celebrity clients, I think it's basically a function of where I was, because I was in Beverly Hills, so I'm working with celebrity clients, of course. And that kind of got me more into the public eye, where I was more recognized.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us here on Sky Radio. Always a very interesting area to talk about.
Well, Dennis, thank you very much. Thank you for your interest in hypnotherapy and helping people understand this healing modality.
Steve G. Jones is a clinical hypnotherapist. We reached him at his practice in Savannah, Georgia. He is on the web at www.stevegjones.com.